5 fashion mistakes I'm glad I didn't make in my 20s. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Celesta. We talk about all things luxury shopping and handbags. If you love those things, make sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification. I do post videos twice a week. Okay, so now that I'm officially in the last year of my 20s, I feel qualified enough to talk about this. I have made plenty of fashion, handbag, luxury purchase mistakes, regrets over the years. It's been almost 10 years of like shopping / collecting luxury items. So we've made a fair share of mistakes, but here are 5 mistakes I'm really glad I didn't make and why. The first item we have are trendy designer sneakers. Don't get me wrong, I've made my fair share of designer shoe purchases, a lot of which have been like one-time wear or like I bought it for like a special occasion. That's definitely been a mistake that I've made. But there are some designer sneakers specifically that I've kind of convinced myself like, oh, I would wear this every day. Turns out all the reviews have come out after the fact, after it's no longer popular anymore. They were like, oh, these are not very comfortable, they're really heavy, yada yada yada. I'm so glad I didn't buy the Gucci A sneakers. I'm glad I didn't buy the Dior sneakers, the Alexander McQueen sneakers. I feel like every couple years my head convinces me that I want another pair of designer sneakers, and my favorite pairs and the ones that I've reworn and repurchased over the last 5 years, 6 years at least, have been my Veja sneakers. I wear those to the ground and they're like $100. I don't care that they get overly dirty. They're super comfortable. I'll walk 25,000 steps in them and they're great. I don't think I could say the same about these like $500, $600, $700 sneakers. On top of that, shoes notoriously have shit resale value. I've said this quite a few times. I don't buy designer bags specifically for like the resale investment, but it's nice to know that I can recuperate like a good majority of my costs if I decide I change my mind. Shoes, you're shit out of luck. I have designer shoes that I've been trying to sell and it is impossible. I sold my Jimmy Choos at a 70% loss, brand new Jimmy Choos, full set in box, at a 70% loss because it is impossible to find someone that happens to be the same size as you, that's interested in the shoe. And then most of the time people don't want to wear shoes that you've already stuck your foot into. So it's a whole thing. I am so glad I did not buy these designer sneakers because I don't think I'd be wearing them today. The next item we have is the Chanel boy bag. And I think there was a time, especially when I was first starting to buy luxury items, I really wanted the Chanel boy bag. At the time, I felt like I was only buying classic bags, which is why I bought the Neverfull and the Speedy, and both of those are gone from my collection. But I thought at the time the 2 classic bags you should get from Chanel are the classic flap and the boy bag. And where is the boy bag in 2026? She gone. I also feel like looking at that bag just like aesthetically, it's on the edgier side. I am not an edgy girly, and I learned the hard way to find this out, and I don't know why I didn't come to this realization sooner. I am a pastel color wearing, I am a polka dot summer dress girly. Why would I think that I am like a more edgy style girl? Like, I don't shop at Balenciaga, for many reasons, but also I'm just like, that's not my aesthetic, and I should have known that. And so I'm so glad I didn't buy the Chanel boy bag because I don't think that aligns with like my aesthetic. And I think had I bought that bag, I would have forced myself to like dress for the bag, not have it like complement my outfit. Piggybacking off of that, I'm so glad I didn't buy a Chanel classic flap pre-2020. I think this is a very controversial take because a lot of people like reminisce back on the days where like Chanel was affordable and it was like, $6,000, $5,000 for a classic flap. And I feel like during COVID, they started doing these major price hikes. And now you're looking at a classic flap that'll run you at least $11,000. As much as I like want to look back at that time in my life and been like, oh, should have bought that bag like 10 years ago. If I think back like pre-COVID, 2018, 2019. I had just graduated from college. I had maybe $10,000 to my name, just started working. I don't think I was in the financial position to spend 60% of my net worth on a bag. And I also think I would have made the wrong decision. Obviously, knowing what I know now, knowing all the bags that I've sold now, I think I would have gone into getting a medium classic flap in caviar with gold hardware. Classic, perfect choice. Except now that I'm looking at my collection and I'm looking at, the bags that I love, I have caviar bags from Chanel, but honestly, I prefer lambskin. I know it's harder to care for, but I love the look and the feel of lambskin over caviar. I also think the medium is too big on me now, and I think that was my issue back in the day in a lot of the bags that I've sold, is because I went for bags that were like these medium size. They were practical, they fit everything I need, but like I don't carry very much. I carry my keys and my card holder and a lip gloss, and my sunglasses are on my face. So there's not really a need to carry a ton. So I don't think I would have needed such a big bag. And then on top of that, like just being on the shorter side, I think the bag would have kind of overwhelmed my frame. Of course, I didn't know all of this back then, which is why I bought bigger bags. Like the Speedy 25 was too big for my frame. I felt like also the Montaigne BB was like okay size wise, but like I just like didn't have a need to like put all this stuff in there. So I think I would have regretted buying the classic flap. I'm so glad I have the mini. I don't have an itch to buy a classic flap. I'd rather buy a mini. I'd rather buy several minis over a classic flap, and especially seeing the price increases now, it's gonna be a no for me. The next mistake I'm glad I didn't make is opening a store-specific credit card. I've kind of talked about this a little bit. I have friends that have opened up Nordstrom credit cards, Macy credit cards, Sephora credit cards, Ulta, and I think part of the problem is they kind of prey on people who don't know any better. These people are, they're 18 years old, they're fresh adults. They get to, finally can sign a credit card or open a credit card. And then they're incentivized, oh, if you open a credit card, you can get 50% off your purchase today, or like all of this stuff, right? And so at the time you think it's a really good deal, but these credit cards actually don't have that many perks outside of shopping at that specific store. And obviously knowing what I know now, unfortunately, I'm not a loyal girly. I will shop wherever it is cheaper. I prefer certain hotel chains, but realistically, I'm gonna book whatever's cheaper. With flights, same thing. I'm gonna book the one that's the most convenient time, that is the cheaper price. Sometimes that's Alaska, sometimes that's Southwest, sometimes that's United. And so I feel like that's kind of my same mentality with shopping at stores, because why would I pay more money to get a lip gloss at Ulta when I can get the same lip gloss at Sephora during the friends and family sale? So I feel like if I did open a store specific credit card, it wouldn't have that many benefits that would actually be useful for me and my day-to-day spending now. Last mistake I'm so glad I didn't make, and of course there's a little bit of like, trauma built into this, but I've always been told growing up, save. I think that was kind of the immigrant mindset, like don't spend more than you need to, get the cheapest thing. As much as that's kind of taken me a while to rework some of that guilt today, I feel like it's also instilled really good like financial habits in my day-to-day spending. I know it looks like I shop a lot. I'm really glad to say that I've never gone into debt to buy designer items. Like realistically, designer items, bags, shoes, SLGs, whatever, these are non-essential. You don't need a $2,000 bag. You don't need a $5,000 bag. And I think it's so irresponsible to go into debt to buy these things. I talked to a friend who knows people who've racked up like $40,000, $50,000 in credit card debt from just shopping. Like not because of essentials. Of course, everybody's financial situation is very different, but like just because of shopping. And I'm so grateful that I made the right decisions at the time, because I would have 100% been paying for this all the way down the road, probably up until now in my life, if I did make these poor financial decisions. And I'm so glad that is a mistake I never made. I also feel like, especially now, there's a lot of like buy now, pay later programs that, continue this cycle of like debt and everything. So glad we never touched it. I think there's certain benefits, especially if you're like utilizing their discounts and whatnot, but for the most part, glad we never touched it, and we can continue shopping, but also shopping responsibly. And that's really my whole thing here. I feel like as much as I do shop a lot and as much as I love to spend money and treat myself, I think just being responsible is so important and not overspending than you actually can, because I think especially when you're just swiping a credit card, you don't actually see it like leave your account. And so just making sure that you're staying cognizant of that. And honestly, I'm so fortunate that I got to learn a lot of these like financial habits, like good financial habits, before it became too late, because I definitely would be paying the price for it all the way until now, probably as even if I'm older, if I didn't learn these habits before then. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this was fun for you guys. Let me know in the comments if there's any like typical common luxury fashion mistakes that you're glad you didn't make, or if there's a mistake that you did make and you want to share too. Would love to hear all of that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll leave another video for you guys here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.